I say to you today, enforced medical treatment is an assault and a violation of the 14th Amendment. It is an assault. It is an assault and a violation of the spirit and the intent of the charter of our country, the Declaration of Independence. Thomas Jefferson, who purportedly once said, if the people let the government decide what foods they eat and what medicines they take, their bodies will soon be in as sorry a state as the souls of those who live under tyranny. He also wrote in the Declaration of Independence, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights. Among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. The corporate media propaganda machine and the governor's lawyers and minions will tout the law. They will tout public health and a fallacious call to duty to serve the state and the common good. To which we respond again with Thomas Jefferson's words. Rightful liberty is unobstructed action according to our will within the limits drawn around us by equal rights of others. I do not add within the limits of the law, because law is often but the tyrant's will, and always so when it violates the rights of the individual.
The reason we're all here is in today's New York Times, the front page of the business section. I brought a copy of it with me. I'll show you this a little later. It's about how much money the pharmaceutical companies can make off these vaccines. I wish that we had pulled back and understood that the debate should not be about whether you're going to mandate a vaccine for healthcare workers. We missed the point. I'm a scientist. I'm a PhD in human nutrition, public health science. I'm a professor of graduate sciences. I'm a research scientist in anti-aging medicine. The very first rule is never assume that where you're beginning is the right place. Take a step back. We've assumed that vaccines are safe and effective. Nobody's even questioning. No one in this building here has asked a basic question. Are vaccines safe? If so, what is the proof? Are they effective? If so, what is the proof? I'm going to ask two more questions later today. Are vaccines not safe, and what is the proof? Are vaccines not effective, and what is the proof? If I can find proof that vaccines are not safe and effective, then what about the hundreds of thousands of people working in the vaccine industry? What about the journalists at the major networks? Why haven't they been on this story? Why are we pumping tens of billions of dollars into one of the biggest health frauds in history and making people the guinea pigs? Now it's the nurses, the doctors, tomorrow will be the school teachers, then the police officers, then the firefighters, and then it's in your home. I say the government should not be allowed to come in your home and have a healthy body given a deadly disease producing drug.
The reason I'm here today is I'm a mom of 3 healthy young boys on Long Island. I am not a healthcare worker. But 3 years ago, I filed a waiver to refuse vaccines through my school district, and they quizzed me about my relationship with God for about 2 hours. That's the first time around. They also asked me about my lifestyle. How do I feel about antibiotics? Why do I feed my children broccoli? Why does my religion make no sense? And why do I give my kids fish oil? The entire procedure was completely outrageous, and that's just the Cliff Notes. If you want to see the attorney who interrogated me live, well, not live, but on my blog, you can go to mykidsmychoice.com and see what school districts can very well get away with. Unless they're taped. I taped him after 40,000 hits on YouTube and calls from organizations throughout the country criticizing my school district on their actions and their procedures and their policies. The school district attorney was let go. Now he's been replaced, yes. That's one happy feature to my story that's slowly afford to have the ending. What I hope to do in the coming months or years is to support and pass legislation so parents are free to refuse vaccines for their kids based on conscience or science, researching or soul searching. Our two communities are overlapping today, which is great. Healthcare workers are out, the parents are out, people who actually have nothing to do with either topic, just stand for the notion of health freedom, are out to support this. In the 3 years I've been fighting this, I've certainly come to the realization that I probably could have gotten a lot further had I had a lawyer by my side. But if anybody in the audience has ever been involved with the court system, you would know that it's very expensive, it's very stressful. So what I would ask you to do today is to consider contributing to a legal defense fund that we're going to be setting up through the Autism Action Network. Every penny collected from now until the end of November, which is your deadline to get shot or get fired, will go to support your cause legally.
Thank you. It's a real pleasure to be here today. I've come all the way up from North Carolina. Thank you. I read something just before coming up about Commissioner Daines making a comparison to refusing the current swine flu vaccines based on the 1976 swine flu vaccine fiasco as akin to refusing to fly because of the occasional, whatever it is, 1 in a million planes that crashes. Well, first of all, we all have a choice. We all know the planes crash, and we all have a choice about whether or not to fly anyway. So I think the analogy breaks down right off the bat. But I think Commissioner Daines and I use different airlines because the vaccine flu airline has been crashing over and over again. There's a long history of peer-reviewed studies showing flu vaccines have little or no effectiveness. So the idea of mandating them doesn't seem to be well supported. But I'll leave the details on that to the science folks. I'm here today to speak to you as a lawyer. But I wanted to make a couple of comments about what's going on outside of New York, because you folks are not alone here, and I want you to know that. A few weeks ago, somewhere in the middle of August, I saw results of a poll saying that 1/3 of UK nurses would refuse the swine flu vaccines. Another third didn't know at that time. The end of August, there was a poll released saying half of the healthcare workers in Hong Kong would refuse the swine flu vaccines, all of these concerns over the safety and effectiveness. Just last week, another poll came out from France. 65% of nurses there are saying no.